Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 25 of the 72 review. I think we've gone from 3 people on the panel to 4 now. I think, Lee, you're part of the furniture. Welcome to the show. I think you add something different to it. So, yeah, I think it's... we
made a January signing.
On as well.
We made a
January transfer window.
Yeah, there we go. brought him in on a free transfer. So I think that's probably the best place to start. Lee, from around the grounds, tell the 8 people currently in the show who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Yeah, so my name's Lee. I'm a football vlogger on YouTube. I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan. When I'm not watching Sheffield Wednesday, I'm going around vlogging various games. Yesterday I were at Rochdale v Gillingham, so yeah, new to YouTube, but enjoying it, and great to be part of this live on a Sunday night.
Yeah, channel's growing very, very well. So everybody's channel's linked in the description down below. Head over to them, subscribe if you haven't already. We will now move on to Ian, regular on the channel, but people I think will know you. But for anybody new to the show, who are you? What do you do, and why do you do it?
Who are you? Yep. I'm Ian. I'm a 61-year-old Rotherham season ticket holder that should probably know better. When the Millers are away, much like Lee, I go around the country vlogging mainly lower league games for the Over the Bar YouTube channel. I really enjoy it. And also, when you're a neutral, you can enjoy the game more a lot of the time. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Lovely stuff. And then to round the panel off, we've got Punk Chef 41, Jake. Let us know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
I'm Punk Chef 41. I run a Sheffield Wednesday fan channel. Wasn't the whole way my YouTube channel was meant to go, but I then started doing videos. They got popular, and I found a niche, so I stuck with it. I talk about Sheffield Wednesday, and I do a podcast called the Talking Wednesday podcast as well, which comes out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Debt Dirty Boxer channel, and it's on all podcast platforms of choice.
Great stuff. As always, get your comments in, and that drives a lot of the conversation. When I set the stream up, Callum, he was quick in 7 more hours. I hope you did something with your Sunday, mate, and didn't just sit and wait for us to show up. No,
it's a long time to be waiting.
Yeah. We've got Nat evening. Good evening. Lizzie's in the chat as well. Good evening, Lizzie.
Evening, Liz.
And then hopefully Callum did leave and come back 7 hours.
Oh, he's still
later.
waiting. He's all right. We're here now.
He did do something with his team. That's good to see. If you are new to the show, we go through all of the 3 EFL leagues: Championship, League 1, League 2. We're going to do it in that order today. So Championship down to League 2. We've got midweek football to look at, and then obviously the weekend fixtures. So I think we just get going. As I say, get your comments in, and it will drive the conversation. Let's get the running order on and Championship results. And we'll start with Ian. So midweek fixture wasn't a positive performance for Rotherham, with a... Oh, no. That's not good.
Oh, don't worry about the data.
There we go.
There you go.
Because I set it up 7 hours ago. That's what it is. Talk us through this one, mate. What happened?
Well, to be honest, I disagree with the fact that you said it was a bad performance. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Unfortunately, we can't defend at set pieces. We started off very well. We should have probably been a goal in front because Adoffin missed quite a good chance, very presentable chance, and we were on the front foot for the majority of the first half. And Lee Peltier scored a goal. I think it's the first time he's scored a goal since 2016 when he scored for Leeds. Jesus. And it was a good header from a set piece, and we looked well set at that time. Second half, Reading came at us a little bit more, but we were still fairly comfortable until we forgot how to defend set pieces. And you don't switch off when Andy Carroll is in the area waiting for a set piece delivery.
Yeah,
we let him actually arch his neck and find the whatever corner he wanted to. That was 1-1. A little bit disappointing. We made a few substitutions. I watched all this on iFollow, by the way. I wasn't there. We made a few substitutions. Connor Washington came on, and he got a through ball from the keeper. It was a real route one, through on goal, but unfortunately he's got no pace at all, so the defenders caught him up. He had a shot that were blocked. The rebound came to him, and he messed about it and hit the shot wide. That could have been, and probably should have been 2-1 to us. And then in the, I think it was the 91st minute, again switched off from a set piece. Carroll got the flick on, and then the guy, is it? I can't pronounce his name anyway. He just got in front of Johansson and just flicked it into the net. So really, it was a defeat snatched from the jaws of victory. And if we keep going on like this, I agree with the last poster. We've got a lot of problems. We're in dire straits at the moment, especially when you consider yesterday's result as well.
Yeah, we'll move on to yesterday's result. I think a couple of people are popping up in the comments saying that if there were Rotherham fans, they'd be worried about the dreaded drop. Andrew's also said Wednesday are on fire. Be shocked if they don't get promotion. We will be on to Wednesday shortly.
I will say your defending from set pieces sounds like the season we got relegated.
Yeah. We just get defence that fall asleep, the defenders that fall asleep, and leave people open and not intercepting or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought a couple of weeks ago he said that the defence had shored up a little bit with the addition of help me out, his name's gone.
Sean Morrison.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's out for the season. He got injured in training.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's why we brought Bailey Wright in from Sunderland, who yesterday partnered Grant Hall, because it looks like Matt Taylor has ended Richard Wood's playing career because he wasn't even in the squad for the last 2 games.
Wow, that's a bit insulting.
Wow.
I mean, he's fully fit, Richard Wood, because he has a column in Rotherham Advertiser, and he said his fitness is there. He just hasn't been selected for the last three games, not even in the squad.
It's not good, is it? Westerner 8 has said that he went to the Reading game as a neutral. Both sides deserved a point. Rotherham looked like a poppadom in the last 15, easily breakable.
I'd agree with that completely.
Yeah. Other results, notable results through the week was probably a good win for Coventry against Millwall. Huddersfield looking in a bit of bother, 3-0 defeat against Stoke, and that was a bit of a
Burnley 1-1 versus Watford.
Yeah, that's a great result for Watford. And we'll touch on Sheffield United after the next Rotherham game, but the win for Middlesbrough has just tightened it up a little bit. And what's happened over the weekend.
Excellent in that game. Middlesbrough were excellent in that game.
You don't play under Alex Ferguson and not learn a few things.
Yeah.
No. I think we will be touching on Middlesbrough as well after the Sheffield United game. So a couple of questions for any of those teams, get them in. But yeah, moving on to Saturday, home game, Rotherham, Coventry. Ian, you were there. Talk us through this one, mate.
Well, thanks to one of my favourite referees, Mr. Keith Stroud, we had a completely legitimate goal ruled out after about 5 minutes. It was a set piece, and it went to the far post, and Jordan Hugel headed it in. We thought, great, we're 1-0 up, and then Mr. Stroud disallowed it. But he said that one of our players was impeding the goalkeeper. But if you see a replay, there's absolutely nothing there. And they said so much on the Football League highlights show. They said it looked like a legitimate goal. We were okay in the first half. It was quite competitive. There were very little chances either end. Coventry didn't look like they were coming for a win, if you like. I mean, they were okay, but they didn't have a lot of chances. Half-time came and went. We thought, well, a point wouldn't be a bad result. Unfortunately, we conceded in about 50 seconds of the second half. starting. It were a mistake in midfield. Connor Coventry lost the ball. They broke away really well. And it would have crossed from the left-hand side, and Jamie Allen, was it Jamie Allen? He stuck it away really well, 1-0 down. Okay, we've got a mountain to climb now, but unfortunately, our heads dropped. We didn't look capable of stringing more than 2 or 3 passes together. We had 3 strikers on the bench. We had Washington, Georgie Kelly, and Tom Eaves. Oh, please. You know, I know. I mean, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that I'm really sorry that Paul Warne left us with, because he signed Tom Eaves on a 3-year contract.
Is it 3 years?
And
Wow.
Yes, he did. And unfortunately, I mean, in training, I'd put him in a cage and feed him carrots. He's an absolute donkey. He's a total and utter. He couldn't hit a barn door with a bazooka. The thing is, right, for the second goal, I'd like to say that we were pushing for an equaliser, but we weren't. But for the second goal, he were messing about with it in midfield. He got caught in possession. Coventry ran forward, put it to Gyökeres. The rest is history. That guy is probably one of the best strikers in the Championship, Gyökeres. And he's just stuck it away expertly. Game over. Coventry looked a good side second half, but I think we made them look better than they actually are. But I would like to give a shout out to any Coventry fans that are listening in or watching us tonight. Their fans were absolutely superb from start to finish. They roared the team on to a deserved victory. And with Sunderland at home coming midweek, it's looking a bit bleak for us at the moment.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that comment up for you, Ian. Thank you,
Are you
for,
going,
the,
Peter?
for the positive feedback. Great show,
coming
lads.
over for it?
But yeah, Peter, Ian's just asked if you're coming over again.
They've obviously sold the away end out, as they do everywhere.
Yeah, good travel.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. We might well get a siege mentality, but I'm not going to the game on Tuesday with any great hope, if you know what I mean. And I think Sunderland have got probably the best midfielder in the Championship in Jack Clark, who's on fire at the moment.
Yeah.
I think looking last Sunday, I think Rotherham were in a slightly healthy position, but results have gone against you as well this week.
Yeah, because we are losing games and other teams are picking points up. And if Carlsberg did bad weekends.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that Neil Warnock decided that he's sick of being at home and went to Huddersfield to go and try and keep him up. And as soon as
Neil's wife is sick of him being at home.
Yeah, well, pretty much. He said that in the past. He said it in his book. He said it in interviews. Whenever a job comes up, she gives it him and says, "You're leaving. Go. I've had enough of you." The thing is, Huddersfield now, you can't put them in that kind of position to say they'll go down, because they lost 3-0. One of the players were clapping the fans. He said, "Why are you clapping the fans?" The next game, they go and get a winner. Now,
but if you saw the highlights of that, Jake, how Birmingham lost that is unbelievable. Troy Deeney missed 2 sitters.
Yeah. My mate, Cardiff fan, who I wrote them off last week, he texted me first thing Monday. Said, "What are you doing? Sending us down, saying you're going down." I can't believe you've done that. He must have clicked it and sent it to Cardiff. They've won both the games since.
We're always happy to help.
Yeah.
And your mate, Jake McGuinness, how he didn't get sent off, I do not know.
Yeah.
It would assault that.
You know what? He wasn't like that when they were cool, calm, collective.
If that weren't a red card, I'll stand hanging.
Oh, let's not talk about referees at a minute, because I'm sick of hearing about how rubbish they are and stuff. It's like we seem to get one that just likes to think that VAR exists in League One. Then the following one, we've got a situation going on with a player that's being investigated now, even though the TV camera didn't see it. The linesman saw it, but by the sounds of it, they're going to use fan footage to show that Johnson did elbow the lad. He elbowed him. It was clear. He tried it twice. But if they're using fan footage, the game's gone.
Yeah.
Hang on. Fan footage? I didn't think that were legal. And I didn't think that... I thought that were outlawed at EFL games.
You can blame us, mate.
Yeah.
Us vloggers.
Yeah.
Can't stand people just in ground with cameras. Knobheads. John Morell said Huddersfield fixtures are horrendous. If we didn't have Tom Eves' performance up top, we'd have scored 4 or 5 yesterday. So, like you said, Ian, surprised how Birmingham managed to lose that game yesterday. And that's coming saying, I think my missus would get me a job on the other side of the world at the minute.
That's why you built a bar in your back garden, that.
Keeps an eye that way. But no, those 2 results, Lee said it, Ian, that results have gone against you in and around you, and it's put you 2 points above the bottom 3. Got a game in hand over Cardiff, so...
Yeah, but that's Sunderland on Tuesday.
Yeah, which is going to be a tough one, isn't it?
I am surprised how well Sunderland are doing, even though Stewart's out for the season. It's like it's not really phased them.
Well, you've got an attacking midfielder in Jack Clark that's scoring every week.
Yeah.
And he's scoring worldies as well.
Yeah, it's unfair, isn't it, that teams have got such good players. Moving on to Sheffield United at Millwall. This was a big result at the top of the table, and I think Tom Bradshaw, superb in this one. Pulsating fixture, end to end, and it's pulled Millwall up to 6th. Do you guys think they've got enough to sustain this and get into the play?
I think if they can sort their away form out, Millwall, because they're really strong at the Den, if they can sort and pick 1 or 2 wins up away from home, I think a top 6 place is definitely achievable.
Tom Bradshaw, after watching the highlights, I think, on the show last night, he was saying people are writing Millwall off, and it's helping.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I think that's been their attitude for so many years.
Yeah.
The moment Millwall get told they're written off, it helps them, it galvanises them. Now, Sheffield United, they are doing... It's not been a good week for them, but when everything don't go their way by refereeing this in, all the players lose their heads. They have got no composure whatsoever. The moment it's not going their way, they lose it. They absolutely lose it. And this isn't me coming from a Sheffield Wednesday point of view, Sheffield Wednesday fan. They're not very composed. There's nobody on that pitch who'll say, calm down. They all just want to fight. You need that captain or manager or someone on the pitch just to pull players away and go, no, we're not fighting. Just go away. Let's get our heads back in.
You think a player like Bassam, who's been there since the League One days, you'd think, and been all the way from League One to Premier League with them, you'd think he'd be a calming influence, but he's one of the most hot-headed there is.
Yeah.
Do you believe Borough will catch him?
Yeah.
It's well on the cards, isn't it?
It's not beyond Borough are on fire at the moment, aren't they?
We've not really seen Sheffield United have this back-to-back losses in a while, so it can be interesting how their mentality switches.
Yeah, that's the first back-to-back defeat since October. So that just shows what kind of form that Sheffield United have been in. But it's a wobble which is concerning because obviously the defeat to Middlesbrough midweek and then Middlesbrough looking extremely good at the minute.
That's 6 goals in 1 week, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, I nearly cried at this game because the first Akpom goal were a fantastic cross from Barlaser. Yeah, you can clap on the first one then now.
But I think Barlaser is a massive loss for Rotherham. Fantastic player, but it's just providing goals for Akpom, top scorer of the league at the minute. Gets a brace, and this is 40 points from 51 since Carrick's come to Middlesbrough.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Galvanised the squad, hasn't he?
Oh, another one with this game. Did you see the QPR goal? Christ, that was clever.
Yeah, caught him off guard.
Elias Chair caught the goalkeeper asleep, didn't he?
Yeah.
But clever goals.
The question is, will Middlesbrough catch Sheffield United? Let's check out the top end of the table. I think it's safe to say that Burnley are pretty much there, aren't they?
They're over the hills and far away, aren't they?
Yeah, they just need the P next to the name, don't they? I think that's all it's missing at the minute. But the results over the last week has cut that gap between second and third down to 4 points. It's achievable, isn't it?
It is achievable.
Yeah.
You keep looking at West Brom, Norwich and Watford thinking they're going to put a run, but they just can't seem to string results, can they? I mean, Norwich drew again at the weekend. Just Watford just can't.
You look at
To me,
what
I think
United got
it's a
coming
good
up.
bet that the top six as he is now will stay the top six. Probably Middlesbrough might overhaul the Blades, but I think the top six.
If you look
The
what
form
Sheffield
they're
United
in.
have got coming up, they've got Watford at home, they've got Blackburn away, Reading away, Luton at home, Sunderland away, West Brom at home, Norwich away, Wigan, Cardiff, Bristol City, Huddersfield Town, Preston, and Birmingham last game of the season.
Literally none of them
Wow.
mid-table sides.
Yeah. But
And if you look at Middlesbrough,
that form is sickening, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Western are 8's potentially hit the nail on the head with Sheffield United, though, in that comment. It's like they've moved from moved to defending second place and what they've got rather than going for first. And maybe that shift in mentality has led to these 2 defeats where they're setting up possibly a little bit more negative, setting up not to lose the games. But yeah, I think there's might have something in that maybe.
if you go with Middlesbrough, they've got West Brom, Reading, Swansea, Stoke, Preston, Huddersfield, got Burnley, Bristol City, Norwich, Hull, Luton, Rotherham, Coventry.
Yeah.
I think with that, Dan, I think you've just got to. It's just a case that you've just got to worry about yourselves, not what others are doing.
Yeah.
Get your wins, and then you can just focus on yourselves. I think when you start looking over your shoulders,
that's the message Heckingbottom will be getting across to his players. Just worry about yourselves.
Yeah,
needs to be, I think. Moving towards the bottom end of the table, so we've already touched on it. Worries for Rotherham after a couple of negative results this week, and teams in and around them picking up wins. Like we said last week, Cardiff, we had them pretty much doomed, and they've gone and won 2 on the bounce. So that's made them look a little bit more secure. Obviously, nothing's cut and dry at this stage of the season. Huddersfield with Warnock in place now, Blackpool with Mick McCarthy. There's some good managers there that have done this before. They've got the experience. They've got the T-shirt. It's going to go down to the last day, isn't it?
Yeah, and our last day is Wigan Athletic away.
I think looking at Stoke, I think they're 1 or 2 games away from sacking him.
Yeah.
That would be. You know what? That would be really funny if that happened and Sunderland went up.
Yeah.
Because it's just not worked.
No, it hasn't.
I just think there's something else underlining at Stoke. It's just they're going through managers like nobody's business. There's something else wrong.
Nearly as bad as Watford.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and I think when that's happening, it's got to be at a higher level, hasn't it? Where they're potentially asking too much, or their expectations are too high. Managers come in, don't quite hit the ground running, and then maybe a little bit quick on the axe, maybe.
It's an interesting one, though, because Stoke are one of those clubs who actually do make money.
Yeah.
Like, they've got money to spend, but they just seem to get it in the wrong places or wrong areas. And I don't know. They're the one team who never really got the parachute payments right.
No, I don't think they did. But if you have a look at Stoke's squad, it's very, very strong. They've got some really good players. Tyrese Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
QPR just sacked him tonight.
They sacked him tonight?
I'm not sure.
I'm not surprised.
I think he's 1 game away from getting sacked.
Not sure. We'll keep an eye on that. Maybe it's breaking news at the minute. I'm not too sure.
I wouldn't be surprised because they've been horrendous lately, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean they were towards the top end of the table early on in the season. They were one of the pace
Yeah.
setters, weren't they? And then was Critchley potentially going into the Premiership, if I remember rightly, and he rejected it. And then since
He went
then,
to Villa, didn't he?
yeah, and then since then it's like his head's been turned, but the form's gone for QPR.
Oh, breaking news on West London Sport. They it looks like a lot of them are saying he's gone.
Right.
There we go. Another manager gone, and I think Jake had a stat earlier about Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, they were 23. What was it? I'll only find out. I retweeted it. 23 English clubs have changed their manager, some of them twice since when they last lost the league game.
That's crazy. It's a crazy stat.
24 now then.
Yeah, 24 teams have changed the manager. Wow. So that rounds the championship off. Still all to play for at both ends of the table, especially the playoff picture and obviously the relegation scene as well. Moving on to League One. Lee or Jake, one of you take the lead on this one, and then the other one can take the lead on the 5.
You want to take this one, and I'll take MK?
I'll take MK. You do Morecambe if you want.
Yeah, okay. So we started this game like a rocket. Barry Bannon, I think it was like 2 minutes, minute in. Simple. It was so easy. Buyers were a great thing. And it's weird when they start well like this, you do sometimes panic because we can do well, but it sets the tone. And when we set the tone, we can go two ways. We can either go really good or just become complacent and just knock the ball around. Windass, I'm starting to think he's a little bit of a cheat code in League One, just like Barry Bannon is. The lad's now got 21 goals and assists combined this season. He's just incredible at the minute. He's on really good form, and we're playing some good football, knocking it around in this game. And you're thinking, right, let's try and go a bit more, see what we can do. But Morecambe did kind of have little chances, but nothing really clinical. And the last goal was beautifully set up with 30 pass situation before it all went. 30 passes, and then Deli Bashiru just let the Jets on. Crossed it, headed in by Windass. It 3-0, and it's like, right, what can we do now with this next couple of games? Because I would have said that Morecambe and MK Dons were big as the two games we had before in Plymouth and Ipswich, because they're two teams that could have been banana skins. And you look at how we're playing at the minute, there's just a real confidence between everyone. Everybody understands what their job is. Everyone knows how to play. And we're doing something quite interesting at the minute. We're crossing balls into the box, which is Michael Smith bread and butter. He's getting the chances. He might not be burying in a lot of them, but he's getting the chances. But he's getting the little flick-ons that are going on to other players. And the worry thing in this game was Bayev went off injured, and you were like, right, oh no, he's another one out. He had a dead leg. We found out this week Wilkes is going to be out sometime. And that's going to be interesting to see what that's going to be. We got injury coming, but as you know, Dan, Darren Moore likes to have players that can play as many positions as humanly possible. Sometimes it's not the right thing, but he got it right here. Because I think if, say, something did happen up top, and touch wood, it don't, Deli Bashiru could play the striker. He's strong enough and he's fast enough. But we just look comfortable at the minute at times. But then you roll on to Saturday's game, which is interesting. And sorry, Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan's not watching at the minute, but he said that he's going to catch up later on in the week. And at this point, mate, probably skip forward maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you can come back in. But before we do go on to that, there's a couple of comments flowing in while you were talking, Jake. Been asked what we think about Ipswich. Will they get top 2? I think we'll cover that when we look at the league table. Ian's already covered that. It's short and sweet. No, you're not. We did have another. Stockton. Nat said Stockton looks awful at the minute. No confidence. Yeah, he was on fire last year, wasn't he? Yeah, I think. Do you think we're expecting him to be at that level every season after having such a good season last season, or do you think it's potentially wanting
I
to
think
move
he got
away.
promised a move. I
Yeah.
think they promised him a move, and a club came in and they turned it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
us.
maybe nose is out of shape a little.
Yeah.
It was us. I know that.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah.
There we go. Westerner feels like Josh Windas's number one hater. You'll have to expand on that one. Why? Because all I'm hearing is positive things for Windass at the minute.
The thing is, we called Stockton. I'd like to see him what he'd do in a decent side, in a a side towards the top end of the table.
That's why he didn't go to Rotherham.
No, top end of the table now.
You mean when you come down to League One and you get promoted?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you'll get him next season here when you're top at table. Sorry, friendly fire. I couldn't resist.
No problems.
I've got to do something while we're in League Two, haven't I? So yeah, Jonathan, switch off now. Come back in 5 minutes. Lee, Chef Wednesday 5, MK Dons 2. Talk us through this one, mate.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of we just didn't panic. I mean, last season, I think I'd have really worried going behind twice that we wouldn't have gone on and won this. But Darren Moore, listening to him after the match, he didn't go in and give him a bollocking. He just said, "Look, lads, play your game. Don't panic." And obviously, it's paid off, and we've gone and scored, put 5 past them. Like I said last season, I'd definitely worried.
We would have lost this last season.
Yeah. And I just don't panic going into, me personally, I don't know if every Wednesday fan feels the same. I just don't worry anymore. In Darren Moore, I proper trust him. I think looking at dropping Flynn, reading the comments after, he's not played much football, and how MK Dons play, it suited putting Reece James with Iofa in because of the pace. Oh yeah, they've scored 2, but it wasn't a case needing Flint where he heads everything, because it wasn't going to be that sort of game. So with stuff like that with Darren Moore, you've just got to don your hat to him, to be fair. He's doing an incredible job. And we've put 5 past MK Dons and back to the top of the league. Yeah,
it's doing wonders, Darren Moore. It hurts me to say it because you stole him from us, and we were doing well as well at the time.
Yeah.
But like Jake said, he utilises players, square pegs, round holes. That said a lot of him. Bit of a tinker man, but I think he gets
like
so
in this
much
game,
positive stuff out of players. He's such a good coach.
Dominic Ioff had a horrible first half. It was really bad. The both goals were his lack of positioning. But you look at how they're good strikes. The first one, you couldn't do nothing about. It was a super strike, caught us off guard. Windass with a lovely dink. And it was a lovely dink, I'm not going to lie. But the ball from James for that was superb. Having him back was great. And we don't look like a team that panic anymore. But it's like they got belief in themselves to get into it. You've got a second half, Michael Smith, sorry. Getting 2 good goals. The penalty was well struck. And then you've got Lee Gregory scoring goals.
He scores goals.
then you've got Byers just finishing off. There's something about this squad at the minute which is really nice to see. They play for one another. They seem to enjoy their football at the minute. We don't seem to have many big egos. And if they are in the squad, they get booted out quite quickly. Yeah. And I have a funny feeling he will have turned around and tell lads and said, this is a season that lost 5-0 this week. They're probably already deflated. You go get another one, and they might crumble.
Yeah.
And I kind of want him to do the whole kind of Alex Ferguson, look, lads, it's Tottenham and walk out. But he's not that kind of person.
It's stuff like, I mean, he's obviously brought Dawson back from his loan. He's not just chucked him straight in, he's just made him bide his time. But I feel like he's brought Stockdale in to just nurture him as well and help him, because you see Stockdale on the touchline, he's helping. He's
barking orders out, isn't he? He's like Darren Moore's gained a number 3 instead of having just Jamie Smith. Yeah. And the amount of time he's seen something, saying something. I just want to make the comment to Western 8. Just bring it up for me, Dan.
That will, mate.
Right. It was a 50-50 ball that Josh Windass had every right to go for. Your keeper got it and then landed awkwardly. I understand that Cooper's out and these things happen, but there was no malice in what Josh Windass did. He went for the ball like any other striker would have done. If you went the other way, other end, and injured our keeper, I'd just gone for the ball. It is what it is. I've had enough of this, like people blaming players for injury when it's a 50-50. It happens in the game. It's contact sport. It happens. I understand your hatred. It took your keeper out, but it happens. I get really annoyed with the kind of comment because it just does my head in. Because and what you put is kind of a little bit inflammatory, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's this is a good thing about football. Opinions differ. It's what brings people together, and it's what drives any sort of debate. And I think especially when you're so emotionally invested in your club, I think whichever way you look at it.
Jake, with Stockdale barking orders out and whatnot, he's been relegated to number 2 at Hillsborough, but it just shows team spirit. That it shows fantastic team spirit.
Yeah,
he could have quite easily spat his dummy out and just sat on the bench and just not helped. But I think he stepped up massively and just. He's been, how many times he's been promoted and he's done it. He knows what it takes. I just. Again, done my hat to Stockdale, how he's reacted. I think it shows
he's funny as well. Come on. You hear him do interview, you hear him talk, he's just a laugh.
Yeah. I listened to him on Even Under the Cosh. He was a good laugh on that.
The thing is, I have a funny feeling him and Patterson are like the class clowns in there, just winding up each other up and doing pranks.
I think this is, I mean, you mentioned it earlier with Sheffield United having such a similar team of players. And I think that cauldron where you've got a lot of players in close proximity to each other for so long, I think you do need a good mixture of personalities. I think you need the class clowns. I think you need a number of leaders. I think you need a number of hotheads and 1 or 2 flair players. I think Wednesday have got that, and I think you've got that in abundance as well. I think it's unfair how much quality you've got in your squad for the level that you're at. Whereas you look at Sheffield United, where it's all very similar, I think it can have a negative effect. Whereas you guys, I think Darren Moore, I think Nat mentioned it, his man management is brilliant. I think not only that, his recruitment and the players that he brings in, I don't think he just brings players for positions. I think he brings players in terms of the mentality, what they can add to the dressing room, and also what they can add on the pitch. And is doing a great job. Can't fault him.
I think in the summer, I think he's assessed it and seen what we failed in not getting up and what we needed, but also the belief that we are a good side. Last year we were just unlucky. We just bottled games that we should have really won when the pressure were on. But this season he's just got that belief there instilled into him, and he's brought pros in that know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lizzie said Critchley sacking confirmed as of now, so QPR on the hunt for a gaffer.
I've been informed. Jake might be able to put this up that Graham Potter's gone at Chelsea.
Let me have a look.
No way.
That wouldn't surprise me. I was talking about this before the show.
There you go. Stick with this show, guys. Breaking news. Heard it here first.
Ian, you could have a new manager then, QPR, for the game coming up.
Oh, God, yeah.
New manager bounce.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Wanted to touch while Jake's having a look for Potter at Chelsea. Wanted to touch on the game at Wickham. A late first half strike was enough to separate League One Wickham with the Premier League team and manager that is Bolton Wanderers. He's done it again, hasn't he?
He does it right. He writes the opposition's team talks for them, doesn't he? Really, especially Wickham with their mentality.
He did it last year.
Have got Ainsworth. It's a siege mentality among Wickham players from minute 1 to minute 95. Decent strike from Lewis Wing. Get your Claxon on, Jake, if you've got a minute.
I have. It did looking like Potter had gone, but it's not confirmed yet. I can do this twice as well because we had him.
Yeah, you did.
It's a great result for Wickham. It keeps
Wickham
them
are
in
formidable
such a
at Adams Park. really formidable.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that Bolton came a cropper there, but they've lost one, but they're in pretty decent form. They've got a good squad. I still think they're top 6 bound, Bolton.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was more.
But I don't think they can promote them 2 divisions.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think that result there, Bolton, was us last year. You know, got Bolton play some good football.
Yeah.
But you can't go there and play football because you're just not going to get a result. You've got to mix it up and be like them.
If you're not up for a battle there, you're going to lose.
No, yeah, exactly. Right.
We managed when we played on this year at their place. We managed to do what they do to other teams, and they didn't like it.
No,
they did not like it at all.
Yeah, the YouTuber guy plays for Wickham. He said Wednesdays were the best team that he's seen.
Yeah, seen that one.
Liam Martin is in the chat. He's been on the show a few times. He said that the draw 0-0 with Fleetwood was so annoying, especially at home. Not giving Fleetwood any credit whatsoever, though, because they came for a draw, and that's what they played for.
Isn't it funny that we were just talking about Wickham? Because that's what Wickham do away from home. Yep. They don't park the bus, they park a fleet of them.
Yeah. And Liam's hoping for a bounce back against Peterborough and a positive result in our next home game in March. So,
Liam, I'm going to London Road next Saturday and vlogging it against Argyle. So stay tuned for that.
I think Fleetwood at Plymouth's bogey side. I maybe heard it wrong last night.
No, I don't think they did. I think didn't they beat them at Highbury?
Might have did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand what he's saying about hopefully it's different when they play Peterborough. Peterborough just coming back off a 3-0 win. I know it was Morecambe, but that kind of little bounce could help. Look at Bolton. They were winning 5-0 twice in a row and then go play Wickham. Different story.
Definitely.
Yeah, Postle always score goals because they've got a good attack. They've got a good strike force and attack, but they're very leaky defensively.
That's where I think Argyle will really do well against them.
Yeah.
Like Liam says, Peterborough a bit inconsistent this season. And it shows on the league table. But that win for Wickham does keep them putting the pressure on Barnsley in 6th. But like you said, Ian, I can see Bolton. They've got to make top 6, haven't they? But you wanted to mention towards the other end of the table, Accrington beating Shrewsbury 1-0. This was a bit of a shock result. It ruined my accumulator amongst other results.
Yeah,
yesterday,
Elvis's lad scored early on. Presley.
Elvis's lad.
I think that's the only thing of an attacking nature that Accrington did the whole game. Shrewsbury were absolutely all over them. They missed some incredibly easy chances. I mean, Shrewsbury on the back of what? So many straight wins. I don't know. I just don't know how they lost this game. I don't know how they didn't win it, to be quite honest. I think Stanley got out of jail big style, but you need that when you're down there at the bottom of the league. You need a bit of luck.
Yeah, but definitely.
Coleman's lads really got a huge slice of luck there.
Yeah, and that was their first win in 6 games.
I'd be gutted.
I think everyone wants to see Accrington get out of it, don't they?
Yeah, of course we do.
There's just something about them, isn't there? At League One level.
Again, it's that one team that you see in League One. They feel part of the furniture. They've always been there and stayed about, and they know what their budget is. They know what their fan base is, and they stick to it. And the thing is that a lot of us this season, we did have them mid-table. We said they could have a little puff because last season they did. They looked like they were getting playoffs at one point with how they were playing. And I don't know where it's gone wrong this season. It could be Bishop. They lost Colby Bishop, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a big... And Charles as well. They're missing him as well.
Bolton.
Yeah, so it's a bit like MK Dons. They lose Twine and Darling.
Yeah.
And it changes things. So it's amazing when people say sometimes players don't actually mean that much. When you look at some teams that have dropped off this season and you see what they've lost, it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, that bit of quality can make a big difference in in a 46-game season, can't it? Liam Martin, he's off to Accrington on Tuesday night. Wish you luck. Yeah, that's a long old way to go.
You'll
mate.
enjoy it, Liam. You'll enjoy it. It's a great day out.
Credit to
I
you.
don't know what it's like for a night match, though.
Just hope it's not raining for you.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
Take a cagoule, mate. Looking at the table, so Forest Green, I think we're all in agreement that they are done and dusted. Bit of a miracle for them to come back from where they are at the minute. They've played more games than teams in and around them, and 6 points away from 23rd, 7 points away from the other two, and 8 points away from even getting out of it.
Yeah.
Forest Green gone?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. And then for the rest, I think it's going to be a battle up until the end of the season. It's nice to see Accrington leaping out of the drop zone, but for Jonathan, very sorry, it sees you drop back into it. But
Aki have got 2 games in hand as well over MK.
Yeah, so that could pull them up and around this area. But
can anybody answer me a question? Probably either you guys or are in the chat. How the hell is Carl Robinson still in a job at Oxford?
No idea.
No.
He must have something on someone because he should have been sacked a while back.
Naked pictures at board.
Probably. I have not thought of that.
Moving swiftly onto the top of the table. So Sheff Wednesday and Plymouth switch places this weekend. Wednesday got a game in hand on the same amount of points, but you guys are defensively solid and scoring plenty of goals. Somebody asked in the chat earlier, Ipswich, have they got enough to take second off of Sheff Wednesday or Plymouth? No. Personally, I don't think so. I think the top 6 are of Ipswich, Bolton, Derby, Barnsley, potentially Wickham.
Shout out to Barnsley. The quality of their goals at Cheltenham were exceptional.
Yeah. Can any of you 3 guys see Ipswich nicking top 2? We'll start with Jake. We'll move down the screen.
I can't see it. They're too inconsistent. They're not consistent enough to put that little run on. At the minute, as long as Wednesday and Argyle either draw or win, it's enough to go up there. Like you go on the 2 point per game, and with both teams are smashing that. I think I saw PPG Profit has got it down as like it's about 93 point predicted for top. And at the rate we're going, we're set for 103, and I think Argyle are set for 96 or something like that.
Wow. That same playoffs for Ipswich. Ian, I think you've already said that you agree with that.
Ipswich draw too many games. They draw too many games that they should win. They're a very, very good side. Don't get me wrong. They are very good. And they're very formidable at Portman Road. But they do draw too many games. And I can't see... I mean, they're trying to catch Argyle at the moment. And I just can't see Argyle letting it slip this season. I think they've learned the lessons from last season. And I think they'll secure second spot. I can't see anything other than Wednesday as champions, though.
Yeah. I'll just have a quick look. They've drawn 12 games. There's only Portsmouth, Lincoln, and Fleetwood with the same or more draws this season. So, just shows.
Have you seen Lincoln's home record? They're unbeaten at home.
Yeah.
They've only won 3 games. I think they've drawn 13 at home.
Yeah.
Difficult to beat, but can't get the win.
I think with the Wednesday Argyle thing, it's gonna go till that game we've got in hand, and then whatever happens then, it's gonna be interesting because it's gonna do this back and forth for a while, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee, Ipswich got enough to mount a charge up into the top 2 or not for you?
No, because them draws worry me. I think Wednesdays we did that last year, and you might as well. It's stupid to say, but it's as good as losing really when you're up the top there. You've got to. Yeah, I just can't see it. Like Ian said, I just think Plymouth just learned from what they did last year, and they'll know how to do it this year. I can't see it, to be fair.
Yeah. Liam said that he's a bit frustrated.
Hats off to Schumacher. He's doing a fantastic job down there.
Yeah, to take over from Ryan Lowe and carry on his work, I think it is impressive.
He would just keep it the thing. And to Liam comment saying that people jumping on the bandwagon, Argyle will drop off now. It's like, I don't think it's people jumping on the bandwagon. I think up until now, people were expecting it because it's what you've done recently. This season, you look like a completely different team. You're playing like a team that's got a chip on its shoulder from missing playoffs last season. And I think that's what pushing you on. You've recruited very, very well. It could go to whoever gets. It could be that Wednesday and Argyle are promoted, or before the last game of the season, it's just to find out who's top at the way both teams are going. It'll be interesting. Still lots of games.
And also, they're not suffering from Cooper getting injured because the sub-keeper's playing well, and defensively they still look as sound as ever.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. Definitely. Moving on to League Two, because we've just ticked over the 50-minute mark. Donny Rovers, what can I say about us? We're just so inconsistent this season, and it just shows it's a poor division, and we're 2 or 3 points away from playoffs. And I think if we get it, we don't deserve it. I mean, Tuesday night, this was our 3rd win on the bounce. It's the first time that we've done that since 1984, I think, or it feels that long. But 3 straight clean sheets as well, and it seems an absolute age since we had clean sheets, one after another. And coming away from the Eco Power on Tuesday night, although I felt like we didn't really get out of second gear in this game, I didn't feel like we were under any sort of pressure from Barrow. And I was thinking maybe something's clicked here with Danny Schofield. He's been pushing this philosophy and style of play, playing out from the back. It's split fans at the minute because obviously down in League Two, you think you want a couple of big defenders, an hard midfielder, somebody who can create something, a bit of a lump up front who can knock it onto somebody who's quick, and you'll do pretty well in League Two. I think we can probably all agree on that. If you've got that sort of system in League Two, you'll win more than what you lose. But Danny's wanting to try and play some nice football. I see similarities between when we started with O'Driscoll, inconsistencies, but a real desire to play football. And I think if it clicks, a team's due an absolute hammering, but it's just getting it to click. We didn't have many opportunities, but I don't think we had to on Tuesday night. So yeah, that put us in a good position coming into Saturday. Sutton in form, they'd won, I think the last 4, they'd won 2 and drawn 2. And then coming into this one, obviously we'd won the 3 on the bounce. And I think this was a bit on a knife edge in terms of which way it was going to go. I think at 0-0, the Free Press are reporting that, and this is a question to you guys, I'll stop talking about the game, I'll ask this first. The Free Press are reporting that there was a challenge in the first half on Kyle Hurst. He stayed on his feet, he's tried to be honest, not got anywhere. The 4th officials actually said to Danny Schofield, if he'd gone down, he'd have got a penalty. For me, that should still be a penalty, and we should be promoting honesty in players and not getting them to dive. At 0-0, that changes the game for me. So my question to you guys is, what would you rather do? Would you rather see players chucking themselves to the ground, or referees actually realising that the player's still been caught and tried his best to do something with it? We'll start with Lee on that one.
I think, it's just you've got to promote that people are honest in the game, otherwise you're just going to get people diving. And if you're not getting a penalty for it, it's just not giving a good signal, is it really? Because people are just going to chuck the sense at floor and then get the penalty. But referees have got to see that he's tried to be honest, tried to stay on his feet, trying to score, but then he should be bringing it back for a penalty. Don't matter, it's a foul.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you completely. A foul is a foul.
Yeah.
Regardless whether he goes down or not. And I think the 4th official coming out with a statement like that, I think it's appalling.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
I think definitely the penalty should have been given.
The problem is, if that's what's been said by the 4th official, it then does it get put in the ref notes, and then does it go back to them going, no, that's not what's been said. This is the problem. We've seen it recently where they said stuff to managers and then said something completely different to their bosses, the Premier League, or the refereeing standards. This is the issue. You either have them come out and say things and make it official, and not to a manager, and they come out from a manager sounding like bitterness when it's not. If a penalty is a pen, it's a pen. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're down your feet and stuff. It's like, if you're going to promote diving, you might as well throw everything out then, because that's not what we want in the game, because everyone will be going down. It'll be stopping left, right, and centre. And then if he went down as a dive, if he doesn't get it, the next game and he gets a penalty and he fouled, the referee goes, well, you dived last week, I'm going to give you a yellow, even if he did get clipped.
Yeah. And Forestieri got a name for that for Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Chucking him, sending. He was actually getting fouled for a few. He just
Forestieri, don't you mean Tom Daly?
The one that reminds me was that one when we played Hull, and Dawson knew he was gone. He was all ready to walk off because he knew he was gone. And even he was shocked that he didn't get a yellow card. He even said it at the end of the game. He didn't get a red even. And that fourth area got a yellow.
Yeah. I think what it is, I think it's to do with accountability. The referees never get interviewed. They never get asked to explain the decisions on the press or anything like that.
I want them to do.
That's why
I want them to do what they do in American football.
Week in, week out.
Yeah. In American football, they mic up the refs and you can hear it, or it can be sent to like the stadium. Do that in all facets of the game, and we hear what's happening, it'll be made easier. Or if there is something, referees should come out and have interviews at the end of the game.
Yeah.
All referees, even if they've had a good game.
Yeah.
I'd take that into the Premier League. I mean, this VAR, you just don't know what they're actually looking at. So if you hear the conversation from the officials in the VAR room to the referee, you can sort of grasp, all right, they're looking at offside, all right, they're looking at an handball. It just helps. Yeah. Sometimes I'm sat there, what have you seen that I've not seen?
It's like today with the Manchester United one where they were looking at the Rashford goal. It's like, what have I seen? He looks on. He looks miles on. And then it gets given, and it's like, by that, they're looking at. I thought it was clear and obvious. That isn't clear and obvious. That's just nitpicking for the sake of it. If it's like something like that, and you want to look at it, then fair enough. I
don't know what you guys think about cricket. I am a cricket fan. I know a lot of people aren't. But when you get LBWs and contentious catching decisions, you get the actual audio from the people involved.
You get, please check this camera. Please check
exactly.
This. And that's what it needs.
I think that's it. I think there's so many sports outside of football that do video assisted refereeing or officiating so well. I think football just needs to take note and improve what we've got. Moving back onto this game though,
just on that, Dan. Sorry, I don't know why whoever board of officials don't go to these other sports, say rugby, and just can you assist us and give us some tips? Because way rugby handle players, even just talking to them, they just take no nonsense.
Yeah,
you would
never.
Isn't it? Yeah.
The thing is, back in the day, it used to be if you crowded the referee, you got a yellow card. Yeah. And the whole thing, if you did it again, you got a red. Yeah. It's like if there's holding in the box at one end and a penalty if you've not been given, but this player does the same thing the next thing. If you see holding, just give it as a foul pen. It'll soon stop it.
Yeah.
Not well. Sitting and watching, we say it's not hard, but I think it probably is a really tough job.
It is very hard to do, but the problem is they make it harder on themselves by being inconsistent and not being. They go behind their bosses to say if anything's happened. I'd rather it came from the referee going, I made a mistake, my fault.
See, I don't mind shit ref if it's consistently shit.
Yeah.
What I can't stand, what I can't stand is like just a biased ref where stuff goes from all one way. Just if you're poor, just
you see that
consistently poor for both teams, and both sets of fans can go out just saying, "Well, that ref will poor."
Yeah,
but Yeah. But yeah, Ainsley, there was a huge turning point in this game yesterday. Just after half time, George Miller's had a glorious opportunity a couple of yards out. It's a superb defensive block from Rowe. Kobe Rowe, who then moments later goes up and scores. But Miller, Ainsley said it's cow's arse with a banjo at the minute. How does he keep getting game time? I think for me, strikers need game time. They need. You look at Molyneux. He's not scored all season. He's been getting game time. He scored 12 last season. He gets one goal. He gets a second straight after it. I think the same will happen with Miller. I think it just needs that goal, and the confidence will come through again. Lewis, though, not had a draw since Crewe away in October. So we look at Ipswich, who are drawing too many. We either win or lose. We don't draw that many at all. But yeah, I think once the first goal went in, you said it, Ian, earlier with your 2-0 defeat. You weren't really pushing for that equaliser, and you got caught out. We were pushing for the equaliser, and then one. It was a decent ball through, and Ajiboye just latched onto it and slotted it past Mitchell. And frustrating because we were the better team in the first half. We just didn't capitalise on any of those chances that we had. But 500 fans travelled down. Great atmosphere down in London. Hopefully, huge game coming up on Saturday. Bradford at home could be pivotal in both our seasons, I think.
Dan, do you think you're, say, a John Marquis away from a good team, or is it just the overall performance that needs to improve?
Yeah, I think a goal scorer. I think if we've got a goal scorer who finds the back of the net more often than not, I think we're there. I mean, with 12 shots, only 2 on target, it's poor, isn't it? That's a poor return. Yeah. But unfortunately, down at our level, goal scorers don't stay around for too long, do they?
No.
So I think
they always go to Peterborough.
Yeah, they'll be at Peterborough. I think we're close to being a decent team. I think summer is massive. Questions on ownership for club and stuff. I could go on forever. But I think summer is massive. I don't want to go up this season. I don't think we're good enough to stay in League One next season. But I mean, Doncaster on tour saying Lavery needs to start against Bradford. Nearly scored with his first touch. Just was unlucky. Miller nearly scored. It was a great block. That's the level that we're at. It's fine margins, isn't it?
What about playing Lavery and Miller as a 2?
I'd love to see it, but
yeah.
I can't see Danny changing it up. I think maybe Lavery would play more out wide, but then who do you drop? Hurst or Molyneux? They're both performing. Yeah. Ainsley said, I thought we cracked it. We dropped Rochon, but then we go play Tommy Rowe at left centre back. He's an attacking player. Let him get forward, chip in with goals and assist Miller. Yeah, I don't like Tommy Rowe at left centre back, to be honest. But Tom Anderson's out. I'd sooner see Adam Wong in there, but Danny sees the players week in, week out. We only see him on a Saturday. Lizzie said that we're crying out for 2 up top. I think we are.
Dan,
yep.
Is Biggins injured?
He came back yesterday. He was on the bench and played a bit.
Because he was doing quite well, weren't he?
Yeah. So he's coming back in. Lewis has said probably finish around 11th and go again properly next season. And I think Ollie Young is out for the season.
Jesus.
I think that was a hamstring, which is just never recovered from. But yeah, positive result this week, negative result. We're still in touching distance at playoffs. Massive game on Saturday. We'll move on to Rochdale against Gillingham. Lee, you went to this one.
I did.
Over the hour mark, so we'll start rounding off shortly. Tell us about this one, mate. Chippy, decent?
Not the best game. I think it's a tale of 2 teams going in the total polar opposite directions. Gillingham, obviously new owners, they've really hit form. I think they've lost 1 now in the last 7 since taking over and getting the players in. Whereas Rochdale, I felt sorry for them sat there. I really did. The fans, you could tell there's been lots that's been sat there for years supporting the club, but they're just doomed. They're not going to get out of it. Fans at the end were really booing them. they just need a new owner. I think they're good. Otherwise, they're going to go in the direction of, say, a Berry or something like that. It's just
Scunny.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, look, Oldham, they've done the same. But yeah, Gillingham deserved victory on the day. They're just nothing glamorous about him. I think he's brought players in that'll know how to get wins. Big physical side, not the best footballing side, but it was just an easy 3 points for them, to be fair. Rochdale tried in the second.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Rochdale tried in the second half, but nothing really. I think they hit the bar twice. Yeah. Same shot, the kick looped over the keeper. But yeah, just doomed for him, really. Like I said, I felt sorry for him. So it doesn't matter what club. I hate to see any club struggling financially. It could be Sheffield United. I just don't like to see it.
And one of the tragedies is you're going to lose one of the best chippies in league.
Oh my God, Ian! Honestly, so I'm walking around doing my little footage, and I'd look to my left. Oh, that's a chippy. And obviously, I put in the group, and it didn't go wrong. 9 out of 10, solid. I even ate it off the floor. It was that nice. So basically, I balanced it on a wall at first, and it was a bit wonky. So I thought, "Nah, that's going to go all over. If not, let's sit on this curb and eat it like a truth."
Yeah, it's a very good chippy down there. But no, Gillingham, hard-working. That's it. I think the new ownership has just galvanised them, and it's pushing them on. I think they'll be one to watch next season.
I think the January transfer window saved them.
Yep.
Yeah, good set of fans. I know I had quite a few chats with a few of them. They seem nice set of fans. Shout
out to Matt, Jill's in the Blood TV, fantastic content creator. I don't know if you were there.
I messaged him trying to get him on, but he didn't go, unfortunately.
Yeah, decent. Last game of the stream before we have a look at the League Two table and finish off. Ian, you wanted to talk Northampton against Grimsby. Yeah,
Northampton slipping badly and letting Carlisle in. It was a shock to an extent, but Grimsby are a fair side for a League Two side. The following promotion, they've done really well under Paul Hurst. I don't know what he's picked. Josh Emmanuel up, an ex-Miller. Clarkson plays and he was in our promotion squad in 2018, and he was a solid right back, but he never really went beyond the halfway line. It looks like Paul Hurst has turned him into a right winger. 2 fantastic runs and crosses for both goals. Yeah, it's a great pickup though for Paul Hurst, because Emmanuel, he picked him up from Hull City where he weren't getting game time. And I think they've signed him permanently, but only till the end of the season. But yeah, he's quality for League Two, and it's a fantastic win for Grimsby.
I will say Paul Hurst is not getting enough credit for the job he's doing at Grimsby.
Yeah, I agree there.
The delivery for both goals was unbelievable.
Superb, weren't it, Lee?
Yeah. Well, he stood him up. It's a striker's dream.
Definitely. A solid season for Grimsby though this season.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, I think that's put them in 16th. We'll have a quick look at the table. 16th, 36 points. It's a decent return back to League Two for the first time of asking, isn't it?
Yep. It's not bad at all. I think most Grimsby fans would snatch their hands off for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And still in the cup as well.
Yeah.
I think we're getting we're not doing bad with prediction for the bottom two here, though, gents.
No, Rochdale, Crawley, Hartlepool are there, aren't they?
Hartlepool are just getting them draws, aren't they? That's what you need when you're down there. You just need them points, just adding up.
Yeah, I mean it's literally tight, complete opposite to what you said earlier about Ipswich. I mean, you said Ipswich towards the top end of the table, draws are like defeats.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the table, draws are like victories, aren't
they?
Yeah. Because teams at the bottom there physically lose a lot of games. Look at Rochdale; they can't buy a win. So a point is so valuable when you're down at bottom of League Two.
But Gillingham done superb since January. They were rock bottom.
Properly pulled it. They looked like they were gone at December.
Yeah, so superb turnaround for them. Going to the top of the table, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. It's so tight, fighting for that 7th spot. I think Leyton Orient, similar to Burnley in the Championship, they're
Running away
all
with it.
up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
Stephen.
Leyton Orient are like Burnley, aren't they? They're over the hill and far away.
Yeah.
Stevenage seemed to hit a bit of a wall a little bit.
Yeah, Stevenage in a bit of a sticky patch. Northampton opened the door for Carlisle, but there was a comment for Ian saying that Carlisle Stags are going up. So that is some unreal form. Mansfield and Stockport in absolute, great form.
Do you know,
isn't it?
I would be delighted if Mansfield went up, because the resources that the Radford family have absolutely thrown at Mansfield in managers and the lot, and they deserve it. I'd love to see Mansfield go up.
I think they've got a good chance. They're probably one of the better teams that I've seen down at the Eco Power this season. They absolutely tore us to pieces. I think they've got a really good chance of going up.
And look at Stockport as well. They're lovely. That's not a bad season after coming up from the National League, is it?
Very good season.
No. And they go to Rochdale on Tuesday evening.
Could be a cricket score there.
Yeah.
Wow. But no, that brings us to the end of episode 25. Thought it may have been a little bit longer today with it being Tuesday night and Saturday's games, but it's a little bit. We're all right. We're just happy that you guys have enjoyed sitting with us for over an hour of your Sunday evening. We do really appreciate it. We appreciate all the comments that have flown in as well. Lewis, before we leave, Mansfield been there or thereabouts for a few seasons now. So yeah, it's probably about their time to go up. Before we do completely finish off, we'll go around the screen. Any final words? We'll start with Jake.
It's just been an interesting week of football, really. It's been interesting watching all teams do well. And I think with everything that's going on in the world, with what's happened in Turkey and everything that's happening, I think sometimes football is a stark reminder that there's things that are going on in the world that need more attention than football. But it's sometimes our escape. And if you can find escape from this, even if you're winning or losing, make the most of it, because we're only here for a short time, in theory.
Too right. We use this as a bit of a therapy session, don't we?
Yeah.
Ian, any final words before we round off,
Jake
mate?
said. It's a nice distraction from real life, really, football. It's not as important as probably we give it time to be. I mean, when you consider poor Christian Atsu, who was found in the rubble of the Turkey earthquake, it just puts life into perspective, really.
It does. And Lee?
I just want to touch on something else. Obviously, I'm new to these lives. Everyone in the chat, if you could smash the like button for these guys, absolute knowledge that they bring to the game. Ian, Jake, and Dan obviously hosting it. Absolute legends. Giving up the Sunday nights. Obviously, I love doing it now. But if you could smash the like, share it for them, get it out there, because absolute gents. And I'm honoured to be part of it now.
You're part of the furniture now, mate.
Top man. If we could take all his kit to a pub, I would.
Yeah.
But it's not only an escape for us, it's also an escape for people who watch it as well. Thanks, Lizzie. Been a massive escape for you with this stream. We needed laughter.
And you never know. You might see a Tommy Eaves hat trick against Sunderland on Tuesday.
We said laughter, not stupidity.
Outside, no pigs flying.
But no, thank you all so much for spending some of your Sunday evening with us. We appreciate your time. I appreciate these three guys for being here and talking football with me. Please head over to all of their channels, subscribe, like, get this shared out there. Like Lee said, it is greatly appreciated. You've been watching the 72 review. All that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.